So, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another section of Overcoming Addiction, where I talk about some of the struggles that I had with substance abuse and how I use certain tools to overcome my struggles with substance abuse. Today, I want to share something from my second book called The Pressures of Addiction, Finding a Way Out. And what I'm going to share is a section from the introduction to the book, and it's called Outlining the Process, Preparing for Recovery. A journey starts with the first step. Recovering from abuse is a journey that requires the abuser to complete a process. For my journey, I needed to prepare for that first step. Now, preparation for me may be different for preparation for anyone else, but there is a process of preparing to take that first step. I didn't even know what the process was about until I had to go through it. So as you are making it up in your mind to do something, a process will occur to you what you need to do in order to take that first step. Usually it involves getting over some kind of fear or apprehension. Documenting my thoughts and feelings while under the influence of my drug of choice, which most of you all who know me and have seen these videos before know that was heroin, provided a way for me to feel like I was accomplishing something useful. In other words, even though in my misery, because a lot of times people may think that just because you're on drugs, you're feeling happy and joyful all the time. A lot of times people would take that to get away from the stresses of life, and it doesn't necessarily make you feel euphoric. In my case, a lot of times I felt guilt. So by me writing stuff down and documenting my daily thoughts, it gave me the sense of doing something useful. Even though I had no idea of how it would be used, I continued to write. As I continued to write, I could look back on previous notes and see how bad life had gotten for me. The documentation from 2002 through 2007 at the beginning of this book reveals the struggles I experienced. The more I wrote and reviewed the previous notes, the more I began to desire to be free from the struggle. The entire act of journaling was preparing me to begin the journey to end my addiction. What this act did was first help me develop the desire to see change in my life. Second, it helped me to develop the willpower to change my life. You have to have those two things first in order to begin the preparation for recovery. Third, it helped me to build up the courage to begin the pursuit of a better life. And fourth, journaling helped me find the right path to recovery. The constant journaling every day kept my mind focused on recovery. So in doing so, when I say it helped me find the right path for recovery, for me, it was a clinical treatment program. It may differ from someone else, but for me, it was getting help in a program, through a program. And finally, it gave me the mindset. I'm talking about journaling still. It gave me the mindset and the patience to do whatever it takes to complete the process. Now, what I have outlined in the process that is the process that worked for me, which is detailed in this book, Pressures of Addiction, Finding a Way Out. The important thing to understand is that recovery will require some type of process. Unknowingly, what began that process for me was journaling. The journals were a reference to my past and my current struggles during that time. They also became a catalyst for my desire to seek outside help. That desire became the first of the 5 steps that I noted earlier. Next, I want to talk about life after recovery, and this is also still in the introductory section of the book. And during this period, the process continues. The process of recovery continues even during life after recovery. The purpose of this book is to encourage those who struggle with not just substance abuse, but abuse of any kind. By sharing my journey, I hope to do my part to help others who struggle with substance abuse, since this was my struggle as well. Now, as I was reading my old journals, the first thing I recognized was that abuse of any kind is a form of demonic possession. Overcoming addiction is a form of being reborn. My rebirth allowed me to view things differently and with more clarity. It was as if my spiritual nature had been reawakened. My interest in the supernatural had grown since I had been treated for my addiction. I began to see people not just as flesh and blood individuals, but as vessels for spirits to occupy as well. Looking back over my journals, I could see how an evil spirit had taken control of my life and that I was powerless to overcome it by myself. Now, at the time I wrote these journals, I could not have imagined my perspective would change the way it has. Nor did I recognize the numerous revelations it contained. And I'm speaking about the journals. As I look back and considering that these journals were written while I was under the influence of drugs, I am convinced that a supernatural force was in control of my thoughts and guiding my writing hand. These journals became a beacon of light that originated and later emanated from a dark place. Now, I will not mislead anyone into believing that life after recovery is an easy one. It is, after all, still life. And it will always have difficulties. What I do support is the idea that even during difficulties, a sober person will always be better equipped to cope with the challenges than one who is battling with demons. Now, what I just read is from the introductory section of the second book called The Pressures of Addiction, Finding a Way Out, which you will find on online platforms like Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and some other ones. Also, if you would like, I'm going to post an email address at the end of this video that you can send me a request and I can send you out a signed copy. The same goes for the first book, The Effective Use of Spiritual Tools. You can reach me via Facebook under my name, Sandy Mays, Instagram under SRM Author 223. I think that's what it is, but I'm gonna put it up here anyway. And you can email me, as I said, at this email address. Also, please like and share the video. Look, I hope whoever reads this book and my first book will consider sharing some of the insights that I have shared. The pain and struggle I endured in the past fuel my purpose for today and beyond, which is why I have written these books and why I do this YouTube channel. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time on Overcoming Addiction.